It says I am live. I'm hoping I am live. Good morning. Good morning. I want to welcome everybody. We are on Conversations with Sheri and TerryAnn, and you probably noticed there's no TerryAnn. I know. She doesn't have much of a voice. She's asking if everybody would, I'm asking if everybody would pray for my dear friend TerryAnn, as she's been under the weather. Don't worry, she doesn't have that virus, but she does have bronchitis. But anyway, pray for her so that she can be healthy and hang out with her family. Self-care is so important this time of year. So I want to welcome everybody that's on. I also want you to know that if you come live, that StreamYard and Facebook don't like to play well, and you got to accept. You have to accept. I don't even know. We will put that up so that you will know how. This is why I always have TerryAnn, what do you want to call it? Always have TerryAnn explain that because she's so much better with that. But somehow we have to do an accept, open it in a different screen and accept that we can see your name. And welcome, welcome. Great to see you, Michelle. Merry Christmas. Can you guys believe that today is Wednesday and Christmas, oh my gosh, it's Saturday. But my favorite day is Christmas Eve. Oh my gosh. Today we're going to talk about Christmas memories and Christmas traditions. Love Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, my whole family, well, until my husband took UPS, but my whole family would always go to Christmas Eve service. I got the best pictures of my kids around the tree just before we would go to Christmas Eve. And we always like to go to the 7:00. Now that didn't always work. Sometimes we went to the 4, but they have candlelight and everything else. So that was one of our fun. I mean, literally, that's one of my, next to Easter. I love Easter too, but Christmas Eve is one of my favorite church services, and we just loved it, and we would all go as a family, and that was so great. And as the kids have gotten older, I don't know, they work, they decide to do something else. I don't know. Some of our traditions really change, don't they, as our kids get older? So I wanted you to comment on some of your favorite traditions this time of year. My kids, this is another tradition on Christmas Eve. I know I'm talking Christmas Eve, but Christmas Eve, my kids would, as they got older, my oldest is a pastor, and he would take them to some church that had midnight, not mass because we're Lutheran, but midnight service. And they thought that was so much fun because they got to stay up and go to church. And so all 4 kids would go without dad and I, without my husband and I, because my husband's a UPS driver. If I took him to midnight service on Christmas Eve, we all know what he would be doing, right? He would be sleeping. So probably the last couple years, the last 16 years, when they became teenagers, they started doing that. We get together with family and dinner and then play games. That's always fun too. I love that when you get together and you get to do dinner and you have family and you get to play games. That's just, what is better than that, right? So Christmas morning, which now we're not doing it this year. We're going to actually get together Christmas, the day after Christmas, our family will be. But Christmas morning, I know even now, my kids are grown and we have stockings for everybody. My mom used to do this. So it's a family tradition that's been passed down. Oh my goodness. I remember going to my mom's house before we drew names. There's 6 of us kids. All 6 of us got married. Then there was at least 6 or 9 or 10 grandkids, and we were still doing this, buying for everybody. That's crazy, isn't it? We'd have presents up to here, all around the tree, and stockings like you wouldn't believe. And Mom started using brown bags. It got so crazy. But then we decided, we'll draw names. And then, about 22 years ago, we stopped even drawing names at my mom and dad's. And I know sometimes people have played white elephant, and we've changed some of the traditions. But my kids used to buy for all of them. And as my son, who's 9 years older than the rest, they've decided to draw names. So they draw names. Do any of you guys draw names for Christmas? I wish the kids would put us in the name drawing. We have to buy for all the, we don't have to. We get to buy for all the kids, right? And my kids are now older. I don't know about your kids, but my kids are now older. So they have more needs versus wants. So I find I buy a lot of needs for Christmas. And I think we talked about my daughter-in-law, my second oldest son's wife. Her grandma buys them a box and puts all the essentials like soap and toothbrush and toothpaste and all that in it. And I think TerryAnn was saying that she had similar thing that I think her mom would do. We don't exactly exchange gifts with the extended family anymore. Yeah, see, we don't either. I always buy for mom and dad, but mom and dad are hard to buy for, right? I mean, as your parents are getting older, I don't know about you guys, but it's hard to buy for mom and dad. But I think Christmas is more about, at least for me, having everybody together and getting everybody together. That's what I think it is. But yeah, we don't buy for extended either. And then I tell my friends, sometimes I buy for my friends and sometimes I don't. I even think that's another pressure that sometimes Christmas can bring, is that you think you have to buy for all these friends. And guess what? You don't. And so if I buy a gift, it's because I accidentally maybe seen one for one of my friends, not because it's my favorite friend. Ha ha ha. But you know what I'm saying? So that's always fun too, to buy, but not buy. So that's what we do for Christmas. So we'll do stockings, and then we usually open gifts, and then we make that egg casserole, which I gave everybody the recipe, last week when we talked about recipes. I make that egg casserole, and about halfway through opening gifts, because it takes us a long time to open gifts, because we don't just open gifts. We have you open a gift and we look at it, we talk about it. Then we have somebody else goes under the tree and gets somebody else a gift. So we intentionally enjoy and cherish that time at Christmas. So we do that. I don't know who put stolen out here, but I can't see who it is. So, because you're a Facebook user, if TerryAnn is actually in the background, so I'll ask TerryAnn if she can put in the comments how you let StreamYard and Facebook play well together. And like I said, TerryAnn just has no voice and does not feel good at all. So our prayer is that by Saturday, she can hang out with her family. And you know what her daughter said? Mom, we just want you well, and you can sit on the couch and just join us. And see, I think that's what people really want this time of year. It's just people that they love and care about around them. So, but what are some of your favorite family traditions, family memories? What are some of those as we are going into this fun season of Christmas? And there you go. TerryAnn, thank you so much. She just put in there, if you go to StreamYard /Facebook and then accept permissions, then we can see you out here if we can't otherwise. What are some of your favorite stories, traditions for Christmas? And good morning. Good morning. I see Angie's on here. I see Annie's on here. And so, yeah, if you'll just put in comments some of your favorite traditions for the holiday. So I get to talk to TerryAnn. Isn't this nice? I know you guys miss TerryAnn. I get to talk to her a little bit with her squeaky voice, but she told me that one of her favorites was to go to her grandma's. So they used to all go to her grandma's house. And what her tradition? I never had extended family around because I grew up in Alaska and all my relatives live in Massachusetts. I mean, now I live in Kansas. I'm transplanted. I know. But still, all my relatives live in Massachusetts. And so I loved that my kids, because all of us kids live around here. We all have lived wherever mom and dad lived. Well, at times there's been a couple, like for a while, one of my sisters lived in New York. But for the most part, we've all been around. And I love that my kids have gotten to know their cousins and their aunts and get to go to their grandparents and all the things. We had adopted family in Alaska, but I never had my relatives there. So all my relatives live in that Massachusetts area, Boston area. So anyway, so that's a big, people don't realize how precious that is if you can go to your grandma's or get to see your cousins or, your extended family. And then TerryAnn and I were talking about one of her favorite memories. And it was when her husband, there was a lot of kids. I think she said they were, of course, I'm telling TerryAnn stories, so I don't get them right. TerryAnn will just have to give me grace. But anyway, there was a lot of kids. They were under 6. And you know how kids, we were talking about how they have that awe and wonder at Christmas time. I want to know why we will lose that awe and wonder at Christmas time. But little kids are so much fun, right, at Christmas. And her husband dressed up like Santa. And some of the kids, of course, were scared of Santa, but they still were like, oh my gosh, Santa's here. And he knew all their names and he gave them all gifts. And they just thought that was the coolest ever. So I don't know. Becky, Debbie, what did you mean, TerryAnn Porter? Nope. Oh, yeah. You're asking, does anyone have a special trip to the plaza to see the lights? Kansas City Plaza lights? Oh, my gosh. Okay, so my husband, in 1990, I moved here. And my husband was my friend. And I told the man I wouldn't date him. And the first non-date we ever went on was the Plaza Lights. He got my mom to watch my son, who was like 18 months at the time. And he said, well, I'm going to take you to the Plaza Lights. And I go, but I'm not going on a date with you. He goes, it's not a date. You moved from Georgia to Kansas. And you have to see the Plaza Lights. So we walked around. That was such a fun time. We walked around, had cherry limeades, and we walked around the Plaza Lights. And so that was the first time of my experience with the Plaza Lights. And I had this really cute guy I was with who was really interesting and fun to talk to. And so we talked. Then he took me out to the very, very expensive Winsteads, but it wasn't down at the plaza. But the Winsteads where Kmart used to be right here on Junction Parkway. But those are my memories of, oh, and by the way, we didn't stop talking after that night. And so 31 years later, here we are. So that's my memory of the Plaza Lights. And then I brought Matthew's wife down there when he was in town one time because we had him one Christmas. And they enjoyed getting it. But I love going down to the Plaza Lights. Does anybody else have Plaza Lights experiences that they go down there? Actually been on my husband. He's working 50 million hours as a UPS driver. We haven't got to go down there yet. So that's what I really, really want to do. I love to go to the Plaza Lights. And then there's Bowlings down there, that Chinese restaurant, to eat there. One of my kids loves that. McCormick and Schmidt used to have a really good happy hour down at the plaza. But I don't know what you mean, Debbie, when you put nope for TerryAnn Porter, life coach. Nope. I don't even know. Maybe it was something that she asked. Oh, she doesn't have, maybe she's never been to the Plaza Lights. I'm not sure. Who here has been to the Plaza Lights or has another tradition like that? We love to go. That's what we used to do with the kids too when they were younger, is we would all get in the car and drive around and see Christmas lights. Wow. Angie said that she went down there and she got her keys locked in the car when she went to go see the Plaza Lights. I went down there one time when they were going to turn on all the Plaza Lights. They do it, the day after Thanksgiving? That was a zoo. Never again. I wait till they turn those lights on, then I go down there and look. But I love it, even going down to the plaza. And I know Angie's took some amazing pictures because she does awesome photography, if you guys don't know Angie. But I like to go down the plaza even when it's not Christmas time to take, when people come in town. It's just a great place. How about Union Station? I heard that's another great place. In Crown Center, they have awesome Christmas lights. So I'd like to hear from other people, though, of what they do for Christmas, what they do for their family traditions for Christmas. Anyway, after is so much better. Yeah. I don't know. Good group. What did we just share up there? What did you just share up there? A good group of us rented a limo and rode around seeing lights. Oh, yeah, I have a friend that they don't really do Christmas gifts, but they do. They have a tradition of going somewhere nice to eat down there, and they always rent a limo. She's a travel agent, so they do a lot of traveling. And the best place is Sar Park, Crown Center, and Plaza Lights. Yep. Yep. And that's what I'm still waiting to do. I'm still waiting to do that this year. But yeah, that's always been our tradition that we do. We drive around, and there's a place called Candy Cane Lane, not very far. It's around here too. I took my mom and dad from Canada to the plaza on mom's birthday, December 26th, one year, and didn't tell her about the lights until we came out of the store when it turned dark. She cried and said it was the best birthday ever. My net, my next nest memory ever. Oh, your best memory ever. It was their only Christmas here, and they got her by surprise. Yeah, 87th and Lackman, Sawyer Park. That's another really, really good place to go. Yep. There's some cool plaza lights to go see. And we used to like to, I think Carla was talking about playing games. Giving games is a lot of times a good gift for Christmas because then you can play them with people. And also, I have my New Year's Eve tradition. I usually hang out with my friends and we play games and we do that kind of stuff. And so I find Thanksgiving and Christmas is a great time to hang out with my family. And then New Year's Eve, I usually hang out with really good friends of mine. So, anyway, what are some of your other family traditions? I am so happy, Grace, that you got to take them down to that Plaza Light. That's so awesome because the Plaza Lights are pretty cool. So we have some fun traditions. Oh, we took the kids to see Santa every year. I know everybody does, but my oldest is 9 years older than the other ones, right? So he's 9 years older. I made him do Santa pictures. I don't even remember how many years. I swear he did them till way after he was 18. And he says that I would always tell him this was the last year. But I didn't realize what a trooper he was. So I have these great pictures of my 4 kids with Santa because my oldest was compliant, because once those other ones got teenagers, they wouldn't jump in the picture. I'd be like, oh, just this one time. And they wouldn't do that. Where my oldest was just such a great trooper with that. So that was always fun too, to see them like with Santa, getting those Santa pictures over the years. And I, of course, have them in their albums. And so that's a lot of fun. So, what other traditions have people done? I told you guys last time about I still haven't put it up, but our recipe of, and this Thanksgiving, but the day after Thanksgiving, we always put up the Christmas tree and we had turkey enchiladas. So the neighbor kids, not really the neighbor kids, but the kids that went to school with my kids, their friends would come over to help put up the tree so they could eat turkey enchiladas. And that was so fun. And we not only put up the tree, but my kids used to put up all their art all over my wall of what they did over the years. And so people would come in and go, my goodness, your house looks like kids live here. And I'm like, because they do. And I still have all my kids' art, not all, but a lot of it. And I haven't decided what I want to do with it in the buckets because it was such great memories. My kitchen would be filled with their art that they made over the years for Christmas. And then the little ornaments that they made over the years would be on my tree. And yeah, it was awesome. And my kids would decorate our house. I mean, I did too, but my house always looked like a bunch of kids decorated it. And I was like, because a bunch of kids decorated my house because a bunch of kids live here. So I remember that was a really, really fun tradition too. And I know some people like their tree and their house to look, but mine looked like a bunch of kids did it. And I always enjoyed that. It would make me smile and be happy. And I remember when they really didn't care if their kid art got up anymore. And I found out I was putting it all up. And yeah, so now I have it all. So I probably should put it in a scrapbook. So I probably just need to do that now. But anyway, what are some of the other fun? Oh, another one of my fun traditions, and I didn't know I would miss it now that my kids have gotten older, is all those Christmas plays they used to be in. Mind you, I had 4 kids. So they'd be in different Christmas plays. And then they started a basketball. We used to have a basketball holiday classic basketball tournament that we'd go to and all this stuff. And I told my husband, remember how busy we were and how crazy it was? I don't know about you. I told him one day, I sort of sometimes miss all that busy, crazy. So it was a lot of fun having that many kids growing up, but it was extremely busy. And since my youngest will now be 20 in January, that's crazy. Yeah, my baby will be 20 in January. Things are just a little different this year. So what are some other family traditions? Because I would love to hear from the audience and from you guys. So if nobody else has any, I'm hoping people do, because that would be awesome. And I want to encourage everybody. I know we talked about recipes last week, but it's okay if we still put recipes in this week. So if if you just want to go ahead and share them under the recipe thing, and go to conversations with Sheri and TerryAnn, and there's great recipes there. So TerryAnn and I also were talking about adaptability through the holidays. I know this isn't about memories, not about traditions, but sometimes we hold on to those traditions so tightly that we forget that maybe we need to have a little adaptability. Our dear friend TerryAnn is sick. That's not going to be very fun. So does she have all her ducks in a row, and does she have everything the way she wants it for Christmas? No, she doesn't. But there's things that you can adjust. You can decide to do Christmas a week later. You can decide to do Christmas. Well, we're doing Christmas the day after Thanksgiving. Day after Christmas. Wait, we did Thanksgiving the week before Thanksgiving. And then we did turkey enchiladas on Sunday after Thanksgiving. Like I said, I've learned pivot, adjust. You know what I really want for Christmas? I don't know what you want, but I know what I want. It's just to be able to see my kids and hang out with my kids and have dinner. And so does it have to be on Christmas Day? No, it does not. I'm answering my own question. But the point is to learn to be a little bit more adaptable. And then I have one more challenge I would like to ask everybody is Christmas is not always fun for everybody. We have people that this is the first year of losing somebody special. We have people that maybe don't have places to go on Christmas, or I don't know. There's just a lot. And so some people will be very, very sad this time of year. So I'd like to ask everybody, and I know Grace brought this up too, if we can the next couple weeks, well, maybe next year would be a great New Year's resolution, show kindness and go around and show the love in the spirit of Christmas. Because, Jesus is really the reason for the season. And a lot of times I think we get all about the gifts and the traditions and all those crazy expectations of Christmas. And we forget that the true meaning of Christmas was that baby that was laid in the manger. So if we can remember that Jesus is the reason for Christmas, and by the way, Jesus is love. He's not, Jesus is kindness. Jesus is, right, so much more. So if we could go spread the joy and love of Christmas, that'd be great. I have a friend that I know that is single, and she was saying, hey, I might want to go work in the kitchen, the soup kitchen, to help the needy people for Christmas. Or I'm going to go make a bunch of goodies, fudge and all those fun things. And then I'm going to go share them with others. And then Grace told us to go give candy canes while we're out and about getting ready for Christmas. And I know that we're really down to the wire, but I believe Christmas is for at least the 2 weeks, but actually we have 12 days of Christmas. Isn't that what that song says? We really do too. But anyway, so if you can think of ways to go spread the love of Jesus, and if you're not into being a Christian, because I'm a Christian, just go out and spread the spirit of Christmas. The year my dad passed away, we adopted a family and gave the Christmas instead of ours. It was humbling. Yeah, and that's a great thing to do, to think of others, because Christmas is about giving and joy and peace. So I just wanted to challenge everybody there. Next week, guess what we're going to talk about? Oh, I even know, and I don't have to ask TerryAnn. I'm just joking. I always ask TerryAnn just because it's fun. You got to be, it's a little different when I'll get TerryAnn to pick on. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about next week. Next week, we are talking about self-care. I know next week we're going into New Year, New You. I get that because we're going to meet on the 30th. TerryAnn said if you wanted to, you could show up in your Christmas or jammas or, we're going to be a lot more laxed. Wait, I'm laxed today. Don't I look laxed? It says just chilling. So we're laxing today, but you can wear Christmas jammas, whatever you want. I know you're busy. And yeah, it'd be fun to talk about goal setting, but how about if one of our main goal setting could be self-care? So we're going to talk about self-care next week. So come back next Wednesday, 9:30. And yes, Grace, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you, my friends. Merry Christmas. And that's so good to see everybody. And I really want to thank everybody for being here. And Merry Christmas. Hope your Christmas is filled with love and laughter. Merry Christmas from Sheri and TerryAnn. Thank you, TerryAnn, for putting that up. But yes, Merry Christmas. Find that love, find that joy. Go find the awe and wonder of Christmas this year. And if that means putting it on others, give to others. Oh, wait, we should do that anyway. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I will see you next Wednesday at 9:30. Make it a great one. Bye, guys. I have to